So now we are going to see about Java programming. These are the references. Your textbook is Java, the complete reference, 11th edition. I have shared this PDF ebook in the Google Classroom. If you have joined in the Google Classroom, you could refer that. And few other references. Apart from the textbook, you can have good references in tutorials point and Java T-point. And Oracle now, presently Oracle is having the complete rights on Java. Okay, Sun Microsystems full control is now under Oracle. So they have their own complete tutorial about all the classes, methods, syntaxes, everything about Java. That is also a good reference. That is a very good reference. And in Geeks for Geeks also we have we could find very good references. And as it is a multi-purpose and easy to learn and powerful language, we are about to learn this. It has been introduced for us. And in this course, almost all the fundamental concepts of Java. We cannot say complete Java we are going to learn, but most of the fundamentals we can learn through this course. Apart from that, we have many on Java. So once these fundamental concepts are known, then it is easy for you to follow further. On your own, you can learn. Okay. So any basic language we must know. So already you all studied problem solving and programming. So this is very easy for you to proceed with. And these are the course outcomes. On completion of this course, you will be having these capabilities. Like you will be applying the concepts of classes and objects to solve simple problems. And you may develop programs using inheritance, packages, interfaces. These terms may seem new to you now, but once we proceed further, all these will be familiar to you. And you will be make use of exception handling mechanism, multi-threaded model, and you will be creating Java applications with IO packages, generics concept, string classes, collections. So these are the course outcomes. Based on this, the unit has been designed. So in unit 1, almost all the basics about Java, evolution, data types, those things, and basics about object-oriented programming, how classes can be created, objects can be created. Then in unit 2, how to create inheritance-based programs, package creation, interface creation, all those. And in unit 3, exception handling concepts and multi-threading concepts, how these can be applied to real world problems. And in unit 4, how several input-output classes are arranged in Java, various ways of handling inputs and outputs, and the generics concepts. And in unit 5, various ways of handling strings and collection concept. These things we are going to cover. These are part of the core Java. And apart from that, we have many in Java that you can learn if required. Now, so initially C programming language was developed in 1972 by Dennis Ritchie and Brian Kernighan at the Bell Laboratories. Some research group has been established. Previously, you might have already heard like Pascal, Fortran, COBOL. Those languages were there. So they thought some more powerful language need to be created than those existing languages. So created some research group and they have invented C programming in 1972. And still they found that something is lagging in C programming. So they wanted to improve that. So in the same Bell Laboratories, another group worked on it, and they developed C with classes. Later it was renamed as C++. Originally C with classes. That was the name what they have developed. So in 1979 it has come. You could see till then this was the dominant language, C programming. But still, even nowadays, we are using C programming language. We couldn't say it was outdated. It is still there, but for some category of application, C is the best. For some category of application, C++ is the best. And today's world is completely based on internet. So C and C++ were not suitable for internet programming, web-enabled applications. Okay, they were not suitable. Earlier, very less people were using internet, mostly standalone computers. So in those cases, C, C++ was very, very successful. Even in hardware programming, control system programming. In those cases, C and C++ were performing good. Even in those places, these are playing a vital role. Flight control system and all still written using C programming languages. Okay. But when it comes to internet programming, networked, like from one computer to another computer. Okay, so in those cases, C and C are having some drawbacks. So still, we need something else extra than the C and C++. So Java has come. So Java has come in the year 1991, and later it has been renamed as Java. So they were thinking of several names for that programming language, and they end up with Oak and some company called Oak that name. They claimed that this is our own brand name, you cannot use that. Oak means oak tree. So it represents strength, powerful. So it was a powerful tree. So they wanted to name as they have developed Java as a powerful language. So that name has been given for that. That company has claimed it is our own brand name. So they wanted to change the name. Several names were there in their proposal. And finally, they end up with, while the research people who invented Java were drinking coffee, Java was the name of a coffee, okay, in one place. So they immediately thought that we can choose this Java as a name for this language. So that was the journey for this programming language. So the general principles for the idea of the team. Okay, what are all the motivations for developing a new programming language? They wanted to make it simple, even simpler than C++ and C, and they wanted to make it robust, and they wanted to make it portable. Portable means C, C++ are not portable. You are writing C in a Windows operating system, and you have to run the same in Linux means you have to install a different, the compatible compiler again, and you have to modify the code accordingly. So that was the lacking part in C and C++. Here they wanted to make it portable. Anywhere I can write. So it is related to platform independence. Okay, portable and platform independent, both are closely related terminologies. And as it comes with the internet, but originally they didn't develop Java for internet programming. They thought it for digital TVs, digital televisions, and cable, those things. Because in those days, internet was not that much popular. Only defense people used the internet. Normal people didn't use internet, or even in organizations. Only the military, central government, national level government authorities using for communication. So only those fields they use internet. So they thought of for common people we need a powerful language, and they started developing one language. The idea was common people regularly started using digital televisions, cable TV, those things. For proper broadcasting of programs, for that we need a language. So digitally we can do some telecasting, flexible telecasting and all. For that, they wanted to develop Java. Surprisingly, it is suited well for internet programming. So it has been started in that perspective. So internet programming means it should be secure. So that is also their motivation, and it should give high performance, quick compilation, execution, and all, and multi-threaded. So this multi-threaded, we can think of parallel running. Okay, so when this concept is studied in depth, I'll tell you in clearer aspect how multi-threaded can be understood. Then architecture neutral. So this is again related to the platform independence. And then object oriented. This is the buzzword here. You all might have known this term. Java is a object oriented programming language. So we shall try to explore that. And it is interpreted and it is dynamic. So all these were the motivations and they have achieved all these. Okay. So currently it is used in internet programming, mobile device programming, game creation, e-business solutions, etc. In variety of ways. Okay, so if you are more interested about the history of Java, then you can refer javatpoint.com, history of Java. Okay, so a complete history if you are very much interested in that. So now we have come to the features of Java. As I told, these are the motivations, and the programming language is based on these only. So simple means it is similar to C, C++ syntaxes. So quickly we can adapt, not much differences. So in C, we are declaring a variable like int x means in the same way we can declare variables here also. So that sort of simplicity it is having, and robust. It once we have created means it withstands, and then portable. One time created means we can run it on. We can take the program anywhere and run it on any machine, any platform. Platform means operating system, the base, on what base your program is running or the computer is working. So we could say platform here as the operating system. Platform independence means it can run on any operating system. In C programming, I have developed a C program in Windows operating system that I want to run in Linux means I have to install the Linux compatible compiler. Then only I can run the program. But here Java is having its own JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So on any OS, it creates its own virtual machine, and inside that it runs the Java program. So whatever may be the OS, we can quickly run the Java program. No need to install the separate compiler, Linux-based compiler, Windows-based compiler, Mac OS-based compiler, not required. Okay, a single JVM, single compiler that creates its own virtual machine, imaginary machine. Inside that, will run the Java program. And next aspect, secure, then high performance, multi-threaded, architectural neutral, object-oriented, interpreted. So interpreted means it is not exactly compiled. It is interpreted. Though we are telling us compile the Java program and run it, but originally, internally, it is interpreted. Interpreted means commonly understandable code, universal code. Like in Tamil Nadu, we speak Tamil, majority. And in Kerala, majority of the people speak Malayalam. When Kerala people comes to Tamil Nadu, what they will do normally, they use a commonly known language. So here the commonly known language is English. So likewise, Java interprets its code into a commonly understandable language, not for the human, but for the machine. Okay. Linux can also understand, Windows can also understand, Mac OS can also understand like this. A common code, bytecode. So Java is interpreted, but C and C++ are compiled. That creates object code. Object codes are understood only by its own compiler. Linux compiler means Linux. Windows compiler means Windows. Like the advantage here is it converts everything into bytecode that can be understood by any operating system. Okay, and it is dynamic. Dynamic means as and when required, we can quickly create it. So these are all the main buzzwords of Java. Still, you may have some, you may need some more clarity on some of these words. So that will be clarified in the forthcoming classes, I hope. If not, then you can ask me, then I'll clarify. Okay. So now, object-oriented programming. So why this has come, this topic called OOP? So generally, any computer program has two elements. Code is the first element, data is the second element. So now we can create programs generally in two ways. Process-oriented model and object-oriented model. So this in another way we could call it as structured programming language, object-oriented programming language. So in structured programming language, everything has been grouped into functions. Functions, main function, user-defined function. Likewise, whatever code we are writing, we'll be grouping it into functions. And how functions are called and all, you all know. So there is a relationship, how to do that. So the thing in structured programming is the code is acting on the data. So what are all the variables we are creating, that will be there, and the code, the function, what are all the instructions we have written inside the function will act on the data. So C is a good example for process oriented model or procedure oriented model or structure oriented model. So the thing here is when the size of the program increases, normally 100 lines of code. Can you guess using C programming what is the maximum size of how many lines? Which is the maximum lines of code you wrote? Some of you may have some idea. You might have, which is the lengthiest program you wrote in C? Any idea? Any idea? Okay. Yes. Length is polynomial. Okay. How many lines were there in that program? Approximate count. Just some idea. Rough idea. According to your knowledge, approximately how many lines? Around 200. Okay. So, C program is suitable for programs up to this. Even if you are telling that 170 plus, in that, if something you have to change, you need to modify some code, some variable name you have to change, some functionality you have to change, means it was not that much easy. Some debugging you have to make in that program is not that much easy. So today's concept like this internet programming and all requires even more lines. You could see creation of web pages, so many things are involved in that. So that has more and more functionalities. So the program size may go beyond 200, 300, 400. When the size increases, complexity is also increasing. Correcting the program in one place, I have to do some changes means it should reflect in almost all the places. Like one e-shopping portal, Flipkart website, like something you have to design. Background database, they have to keep what are all the products available, what is its price, how many quantity, all those things will be stored in the database. And today you are checking one cooling glass, okay, some cooler, okay, this brand cooling glass you are checking, and you found no stock, and tomorrow you are checking no stock, and day after tomorrow you are checking, yes, there are some stocks available, 10 items available. So how it is changing? So somebody is changing in the database. In the database they are changing. When item comes, then they are changing it in the database, and your Flipkart website is retrieving that and showing that yes, stock is available. So multiple things are involved in that. So code size becomes lengthy. More and more items, so many items are there. What not? When you are checking in Amazon, browsing some items, so many items are there. You could see how will be the size of the program. So it is very big, isn't it? So if I develop everything using C, it makes me very complex to organize everything using functions, organize everything using same way. Debugging, error correction, all these are difficult. So when your application size is small, it requires around 200 to 300 lines of code. Yes, go with C programming itself. If it is going beyond that, C, C++ was not sufficient. We have to proceed further. Next programming language, Java. Okay, because it is using object oriented approach. Now we get more clarity on object oriented. It controls data, controls access to the code. So you think this Amazon product price, and these are all data. This data actually controls the code, not the code controls the data. Okay, so in that perspective, we need our priority here is on data, and how to retrieve the data, how to order the data, how to organize the data, reduce count, increase count, zero count, how do we do that? Okay, so in that way object oriented programming has been constructed. So for object oriented programming, the basic concepts are so we could say it is a methodology that simplifies software development and its maintenance by providing some rules. What are the rules? Okay, object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So these are the key rules. So when we build a language and its code based on these concepts, these rules, we are calling it as object-oriented programming language. So it should follow this. What is object, how it should be? What is a class, how it should be? What is inheritance, how it should be? Likewise, there are some rules. If my programming language is following these rules, then I'll be calling it as object-oriented programming language. Okay. So now we shall see one by one. Object. So object is the physical entity. Okay. This is a physical entity. Sometimes we could say as a logical entity for some cases. For class, it is logical entity only. So there is no physical reference for a class. It is simply an logical means assumption. Okay, assumption. So we could say objects can be a pencil, objects can be any object, any real world entity. We could student is an object likewise. Okay, one particular student, say Raja, is an object. Likewise, we can say any real world entity as an object. Okay, a group of items. Items means what? Items, there is nothing else. Pencil is an item. So pencil is the object, item is the class. Okay, item is a logical entity. Book is an object, item is a class. Likewise, you can imagine. Raja is an object, student is a class. Okay, so in that perspective, you can think the real entity, we could say an object that exists, and class means group of objects. Group of objects we could call it as a class. Group of objects. So as I told, pencil is the object, item is the class. Raja or 18 MER not 1 is an object. 18 MER not 1 is an object. Student is a class. So group of students together we could call as class. Okay, or we can say it is a template or blueprint from which objects are created. Okay, so it is a logical entity. Student is a logical entity for which there is no physical entity. Exact student is the physical entity. Generally, student means there is no physical entity. Okay, inheritance. Inheritance, we could say derived properties. So one object acquires all the properties and behaviors of a parent. Okay, so what are all there with the parent is also applicable to the child also. So that is inheritance, that property. Okay, so base class will have some property that is applicable to the derived class also, child class also. So some example I could say employee. So this is a general entity, logical. A particular employee, if I say, that is the real entity. So employee. For any employee, there is an attribute called salary. Okay. For any employee, you could take, it can be educational institution employee, bank employee, railway employee, anybody. Employee means salary will be there. Okay. Then I am narrowing down that. Programmer, a specific employee in an IT company. A programmer. So programmer is coming under employee. He will also have salary, and in addition to that, he is having bonus. Okay. So inheritance. So employee is parent here. Programmer is child here. So this child is having the property of parent also, in addition to its own properties. Okay, programmer will have its own properties. One more example, animal. Animal is the parent class. You could see animal is having some data like legs. Commonly, animals will have legs. Some common properties. Okay, it can move, it can eat, like this. Dog. Dog is a specific animal. It can be a child of this animal class. So here, move, eat is all these are common here too, derived here. Additionally, it is having bark. Okay. And one more animal, if I give cow, cow I am making here means that also will have move, eat, all those things. Additionally, instead of bark, it will have something else, gives milk, like this. Okay. So in that way, the animal is a parent class, dog, cow are children classes. So in that way, we can arrange classes. Student, can be a parent and mechanical student, automobile student, child classes. So in that way I can arrange it. Okay. Commonly students will have a roll number, CGPA, those things. Specifically mechanical student will have some design, machine design project. Automobile student will have something else like this. Specifically they will have different, but commonly all the parent related things will be inherited. Then polymorphism. Polymorphism means an object or class that has many forms, and which form it is using, that depends upon the context. Like we can say animal, speak is the common context. If I take cat means the speaking mechanism is different, and if I take dog means move. So this mechanism is different. So same speak is taking different form according to the context. So in cat class, it is taking one form. In dog class, it is taking another form, like this. Okay. And we could say shape as the parent means draw is the basic function in that. And triangle draw differently. Rectangle draw differently. Circle draw differently. Because to draw triangle, I need base and height values. To draw rectangle, I need length and breadth values. And to draw circle, I need radius value. Okay, so each is having its own perspective. Then abstraction. So abstraction is the essential, very main thing in object-oriented programming, because the complete complexity, as I told, when it comes to C program, if the length increases, it is difficult to manage in C. But using Java, we can easily manage. How? Through this abstraction. Okay, complexity can be handled efficiently. So that is the main thing. Abstraction means what? Hiding unnecessary details, projecting only required details. Okay, hiding unnecessary details and projecting only necessary details. So that is abstraction. You can understand using this. You could see this is a car. So most of the parts are marked, like almost what are all the minute parts. It is a complicated machine. You all know. Most of the people in this class are mechanical students and some automobile, some civil, and so you can realize this. Car is a very complicated machine. It has so many parts involved, isn't it? Okay, now you are purchasing a car. Whether you need to know about all these parts, how it is made, what is the metal used, for each part, what is the type of material used, how it is organized, how it is designed, arranged, everything you need to know to buy a car for your own purpose. Is it required? No. What you need to know to buy a car? Uh, 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 hmm, uh, uh. Okay. So only those things they will check, and to drive a car, what you need? Petrol or diesel? What knowledge you need? Uh, what is accelerator? What is brake? What is clutch? How to operate this? How to switch on the car? How to open the door? How to close it? Only some basic things like this, isn't it? How to turn left, right, some basic things to drive a car, not how the wheel is working, how the wheel is turning, all in how the engine is working, how it is made, how it is connected. All these are hidden. But simply to drive a car, we are knowing how to operate the ABC, isn't it? So only that things, accelerator, brake, clutch. How to operate this, how to open the car, how to handle the keys on off, very basic things, isn't it? So this is a very good example of abstraction. Okay, this is a very good example of abstraction. Uh, to to learn swimming, We are not learning about how the swimming pool is made, water, so many things. All these are not we are learning. How to control breath and how to make our body parts move likewise. Only very basic things, isn't it? So likewise, this is abstraction. To use internet, do you think only computer engineers are using Gmail account, all these things, creating account, mail account, everything? No. Even not related to any of this course. Okay. Those who didn't even education, they are using mail account. That is abstraction. Okay. We are not telling that everyone should know how internet is working, architecture, layered model, networking concepts, everything you should learn, then only you can create a mail account. Nobody will create a mail account. Okay. But still, we are providing only the essential data. How to give username, how to give password, how to click and how to check the inbox, delete messages, likewise, send messages, where to give to address, likewise. Very basic things you should learn, then you can start using email. What happens internally, how machine to machine is going, information is going, everything they don't need. Okay, that is abstraction. So to own a car and drive the car, simply we need to know this accelerator and all these things only we need to know, not the complete details. Okay. Okay. So it has some hierarchical classification, complex system into manageable pieces. It divides. Only essential part is to be known. All others are hidden inside, available. That's all. Okay. So outside the car is a single object, but internally it is having several parts. But to operate that, we need to know only very basic things. That's all. So next is encapsulation. Encapsulation means capsule. You know the difference between tablet and capsule? Whether both are same? In what way it is different? There will be a cover. Inside that some powder will be there for capsule, isn't it? So if you remove that capsule, inside some powder content will be there. So outer cover and some inner material, that is capsule. Tablet means it is a solid part. Though it is also made up of same powder, but it is a solid part, isn't it? We cannot open and see. So likewise, here encapsulation means data will be there and will be capsuling it through the code. So data is protected. Only the essential people is accessing it. You could see in Drive, you are having some files in your Google Drive. All the files are not shared with all, isn't it? Only few files if you want to share with somebody, your friend or teacher something, then you will give share option, share to that particular person. Some files like this Java programming 11th edition, I have given share to all, share public access, because sharing that Java 11th edition book is not going to give me any threat. But my own data, some photographs of my family function, I will not be sharing that publicly, isn't it? So I'll be giving share to only close relatives, only my relatives only, family members only, like this. So likewise, this is encapsulation. I am protecting data through code. Only the authorized people only can access that. So that is encapsulation. So that provision is there in Java, in any object-oriented language. Okay. So the languages that are providing all these abstraction, object class mechanism, inheritance, polymorphism, if any programming language providing these, we are calling it as object-oriented programming language. Okay. So in Java, how it is provided, we will be seeing in the forthcoming classes. Okay. So today we have seen the significance of Java evolution, the history of Java, and what are the features of Java, then introduction to the object oriented programming. So I hope you got some idea